Welcome to the first episode for 2019 by World Pro Racing. I'm Justin Mifsud
and I'm Adrian Figallo.
We are the two. Well, we can say that we had a very successful 2018.
Yeah, that's right.
And we ended it with a
bang.
With a bang, we can say as well, yes. And we can say that we had quite good of opportunities and we had ups and downs. It was like sort of an experiment and trying out many things and evolving and
that's right.
Doing our best we can for a better year and a better year.
Testing
and
the waters.
Various other things behind the scenes. As people think that just doing a race is very easy and working in esports is very easy, which is not, because we have to do testing, planning of events, getting sponsorships. Adrian can tell us much more about getting sponsorships because
it's a tough task. Obviously enough, it's important that you need to have the right product, good product, and obviously good plans for the future, and what you've done, it needs to be actually very of a high level, let's put it this way, so that you get obviously sponsors to believe in you. We had very good discussions and we have discussions going on with various sponsors, and hopefully we're gonna have some good support for this year.
Yeah. We still have to announce our supporting partners starting from very soon, next week or this week.
Exactly.
Always, we thank all our sponsors, our past sponsors as well.
Right.
Thank you for being with us, and obviously we welcome new sponsors this year, and obviously many plans for 2020 as well. Because
right now it's like a plan 2019-2020. Going on, so it's a busy time of the year for us. It has been busy since the last few months of last year, and obviously the beginning of this year. We're here now with the first episode. We weren't like we weren't in hibernation.
But
obviously we were working and doing other things, like we'll be obviously explaining during this episode of today. So keep on following us definitely on our social media channels for a lot of things to come. And it's good to say that anybody watching us, feel free to ask any questions about our discussions, about the topics we're going to discuss today. Send us on Facebook or YouTube, where we are actually live today, and we'll be very pleased to answer your questions. I would like to say Happy New Year to Nauris, and thanks for your wishes for this year.
Actually, Happy New Year to everyone, because we haven't said it yet. So, Happy New Year to everyone. It's a bit late to say Happy New Year, but yes, for us, it's the new year has just started, sort of, in World Pro Racing. It started when we were at Autosport last week.
Autosport, actually 2 weeks ago. Then from Autosport I was also abroad for drift judging, and obviously I visited the Great Center in Italy.
Yeah, because they have to know, for those who maybe they didn't watch our episodes before, or they don't know who we are. During our races, we use Adrian's and George's skills as licensed FIA stewards. So they, with their skills in real life motorsport judging, we use their skills, and I help them, but they are the main people in judging all our races, be it special events, be casual races, the championship, especially the grip that's coming next Wednesday. So yes, one of the things that we have not different from other companies, it's something that we can offer, since my partners, my colleagues are licensed FIA stewards, so they can use their knowledge in judging our races. One of the good things is that we keep to real life as possible. We keep as much as possible compared with the motorsport reality.
Yeah, sure. That is something that actually I might say that makes World Pro Racing outstand from possibly others. and the skills and the way we actually adjudicate our events and the more professional way we take it, it has given obviously fruit. Something we're going to discuss as one of the topics today, as we have been also chosen to be an adjudication team for already 2 events coming up, championship and its finals, and hopefully much more to come in 2019.
So it was one of the good experiences we had when we went to Saudi Arabia, and it was a great experience, and we judged a very professional race, and it was something completely different because we had people who were like different cultures than us, and we were amazed about the number of people who were waiting for their time to practice on the simulators. So it was a very great
to take experience on the simulator.
Exactly.
They were there waiting, you know, in the queues. It's like
patiently.
We were quite amazed. So even the amount of females actually trying the simulators. So hello, Josh.
Hello, Josh.
How are you? All good. Good to see you here and watch us. We're actually discussing what our experiences in Saudi.
Of course, we can say that we're collaborating and working a lot with Josh, and we have been friends since the beginning of Sim Racing Malta, and starting from a casual race, and from then onwards we built a sort of reputation, and we believe in each other in what we do together. So yes, Josh opened us more opportunities that we can do in sim racing. So I was calculating a bit on how many races we had last year.
That's right.
We had roughly around 30 types of races, and not including the championships. We like the special events that we did. We did one with the Praga cars, and we had some prizes. So we are going to continue doing these special events, which we will be having like 1 or 2 every month. Starting from next month, we will launch our first special event, and we are planning a lot of championships as well, but we'll come to them one by one. We're not going to launch any championships today, so we're just opening up our first episode
of last year and what's going to happen, what are the plans for the coming year. Josh is actually saying, is this the new office?
Yep.
The new venue looks great. Yes, actually this is our new studio area where we'll do our live broadcasts, me and Justin, as people now got to know that.
Yeah, they can see it from the intro photo.
That's right. And yes, we have the broadcast studio also that we use for our live streaming of races, and we have another room which will be soon equipped also, which actually is going to be a full adjudication and telemetry room.
We're going to have a specific room, which is a room behind us. When we are finished from everything, we will do a tour in our next episodes, and yes, behind us there is another room, and it will
change the purpose of that room actually.
Yes, it was going to be used for another purpose, but it's going to be a fully completed judging room with, like in real life, with monitors and monitoring all the drivers individually, and doing something that we are proud doing it, because it's getting popular now that our education system is fair, and you know what it is fair, because Adrian is one of those people that when it comes to judging, and sometimes people say bad things about him because he's very fair, but you know how it happens.
It has to be that way, because I believe, listen, everybody is out there doing his best effort, but obviously enough, you're not there to hinder obviously the effort of others. So you have to be fair very fair. Even when we go to adjudicate other events which are outside of our events, we make sure that we have all the necessary tools in hand so that we are fair with the drivers themselves, because ultimately everybody is there to have fun. And obviously enough, it's like something that apart from having fun, it's a race that definitely has to be fair on everybody. So it's important to be fair and obviously enough have the tools in hand to do that.
Yes, exactly.
Sometimes it's actually, some situations actually do crop up and it's impossible like to take a 100% right decision, because obviously maybe a lack of footage of that place or something or the other. But thank God, still now we have actually a lot of tools in hand with various platforms that helps us to do this and be fair, like it's done in actually real life.
Exactly, that's
racing.
one of the things that makes you stronger, and because when you're judging, once they get over you, then you've had it.
Yeah.
So you have to be harsh and stronger actually as well, because people start saying, I did this but he did that, when they start causing complications, they worsen the issues. And yes, I can say that we have a very strong adjudicator that can handle these type of situations. Exactly. So that's about our judging, and as I said, we had over 30 different types of races, not including the championships. We finished actually with the Trustmaster GT tournament at the Malta Esports Festival in Malta. It was an offline, actually it was online as in broadcasted, but it was an offline event, and actually it was won by Keith Camilleri. And it was the first sim racing tournament that ever been organized in Malta. And since we did events before, but they were like a time attack with just one simulators. This time we got 5 from our simulation center, and we did a 5 sim racing tournament, which was very great.
Which actually very, very successful.
Yep.
Actually, it was something that helped also to show and to discover new talent that was actually talent that they used to have fun alone at home on their consoles, on their PCs, but when they came there actually
they showed their potential. I mean, there were several drivers. We have been approached by several parents of young drivers that they were interested in coming into our academy, which will be opening soon, and coming to train professionally here, both in esports as in sim racing, and also the possibility to enter into the real world of motorsport. This is one of the tasks, and we never stop saying this. Maybe this is a bit different from smaller companies that organize these events. Our target is always and will always be to help other drivers get into motorsport, because there's a huge when it comes to from sim racing to motorsport. When it comes to the financial part, it's completely different, because championships are not cheap. So we, with our contacts and with collaborations we do with several motorsport manufacturers like the Grip, for example, which we'll be talking about it later, we help those drivers to cross that bridge in any help in any way we can. And
actually we give various opportunities. We give the opportunity to the driver to cross this bridge from virtual to reality.
Exactly.
We also fill in the gap where there is like a small gap sometimes from karting going on to
Formula cars,
to Formula or saloon cars.
Because
obviously enough, there is the age gap, the age rule, that until you're 18 years old you cannot obviously enough drive any Formula or saloon cars. So also we can fill in that gap. We give possibility of training at obviously a different level of financing. We offer also the opportunity for those that want to develop themselves in
esports only as well.
So
and it's not about that only. I forgot who the person was. There was a person in our office, and we were doing a meeting, And when I told them what we're doing, they said, but these are games, sitting on a chair or on a seat and doing nothing. People do not realize yet that in sim racing, especially, I'm not going to mention any other games, but in sim racing, since we are organizing events in sim racing, it's not just sitting on the seat and drive. You need weight training to handle the power, the force of the steering wheel. I've heard of people getting injured their calves and stuff like that because they press the pedals hard, because people are investing in hardware now, and the braking system is much harder than maybe other pedals which are entry levels. And it's not people, we focus on also fitness and nutrition in sim racing. If you lose just the focus on during a race, you can lose your race, your championship.
Sure.
So we impose not just as a game, both in fitness, both in nutrition, both in being a professional, not driver, but even in front of the cameras and media, knowing how to expose your sponsors. Because unfortunately, since sim racing is still growing, people do not know yet, or they are not prepared yet. When they enter into the professional level, they do not know how to promote themselves correctly. And we are helping those people in becoming better drivers and being better in a whole package. Like, if you got a sponsor, it's not just putting the sponsor's banner on the car, it's not enough. And we impose also this on our drivers of our team, that it's not just racing, you have to put an article on your page, you have to promote your your sponsorships. So this is coming the same as motorsport.
Even your followers, you know what I mean? You update your followers, because obviously every driver can have his own followers. So if you keep your followers updated, definitely they will enjoy it more and attract more followers to you.
I must say hello to Gilmore. He's a good friend of ours. Thank you for your comment. And yes. And
I say hi to Martin also.
Martin McDonald.
Yeah, because
hi, Martin.
He likes obviously the part from virtual to reality, because he's definitely it's something that we like also. But as we said, that's one of the various opportunities that World Pro Racing can give to those people joining us in our races, joining us in our future sim center, and more. Something
I must say, discussing about racing with us. I've been working this month, almost this whole month. That's why we didn't publish anything. I was working on the website where all the people who race with us needs to register on our website by going to worldproracing.com, and there's the registration page where you can register, which is free. You will have your own profile. You can put your description, your history, how many races you've won, anything, your photo, your cover photo, which there people can find these drivers, and they monitor these drivers who are registered into our membership system. And who knows, maybe they follow this driver and they give him sponsorships, potential opportunities, many other things. Apart from that, we have a messaging system as well. You can message other drivers on our website, and I also can, which makes life more easier, when you register to a championship such as the Grip Championship, and the Grip drivers know about this already. I can send a message to all the drivers, not by sending an email one by one, which is crazy. It was crazy last year, and obviously I had to find a solution, so I can send one message and will be delivered to all members. You will be notified, so there will be no excuses that you did not receive the email and stuff like that, because on our website you can receive all the messages there.
So I would like also to thank Sandro Mikalev. He said, well done, nice initiatives. Thanks, Sandro.
Thank you, Sandro.
And obviously thank you also for his support you give us through the National TV station. Some interesting figures that also are coming up and we're receiving messages about. It's esports, the global esports economy. What will it reach? It will actually reach like $905 million of brand investment, which is a growth of 48%.
Yeah.
So that is something. These are huge numbers that esports is doing, and obviously enough sim racing in general. Part of it is sim racing. So
Yeah, of course. And
it's not like the whole esport.
We've been seeing this article for quite a long time when Enzo Bonito did good in his race against a real driver, and it's not just because a sim racer won against another real driver, because it was just one scenario. You can put them in another track and maybe the real driver wins against the sim racer, but it's not about that. It means this was the good part of it, not because he won against a real driver. The good thing of it was that the sim racer, from sim racing, he can switch to a real car. Not about winning other drivers.
Yeah.
Are you? Am I being correct? Because
yes.
it's not. I was not happy because Enzo Bonito won against a real F1 driver.
No.
I was happy because from sim racing he went into a real car and did his best, and you see the result. It was not the result that I was very impressed about. Well, I was not impressed because I know that from sim racing you switch to a real car and you can drive it like I did myself.
But that's the part that we look at, that when it's like from virtual racing, you jump into the real car and obviously can achieve good results.
Exactly.
So those are very good and positive results. So that is something that we have been preaching for a lot of time.
Something that we had last year as well was the Seat TCR Championship that we did, and it was sponsored by GT Omega Racing and 3D Rep. Also, obviously, one of the most important championships that we had last year was the Porsche Championship, sponsored by Continental Cars Limited, who are the Porsche importers in Malta. And the winner was, obviously, people know now that Hani Al-Sabti won this championship.
That's it.
And he is going to Istanbul in Turkey, driving around 7 types of Porsches in the intercity track in Istanbul.
I have a question here, but I'll tell you. But
yes, of course. And
exactly
we had the Seat TCR Championship, which was great, and it was won by the Morning Stars Academy team. And we have also drivers from the same academy team who are joining the Grip Championship from starting from next Wednesday. And well, that basically was the 2008 in general, apart from the casual races that we've done.
The grip race
every
with
month.
the drivers. So.
Yes, of course, and we also did, which was the first thing in compared with sim racing and real life, we did a collaboration with the Grip Formula Car and the Grip company from Israel, and they do their events in Italy. And the real drivers of this Grip Championship, they did a virtual race who we took care of, and it was very great. And this came out from the drivers themselves. In fact, the same we're going to do this year with the Grip Series Championship, but something that we will be explaining more later next in the coming months. Now, this year, as I said already, we have a new system in our website, and make sure that you register, even though that you're not going to race with us. Start registering there, so you'll be notified by messages on the website, and you do not miss any opportunities that we might publish. And we can say that about the Grip Championship.
So we'll take a small break and maybe take a couple of questions that we're receiving.
Yes, sure.
So I have somebody, David, who said, guys, do you count MTA racing servers as pro racing?
Sorry, the MTA?
Server racing.
I don't have Facebook here. Let me check.
That's what. Guys, do you count MTA racing servers as pro racing?
I cannot understand the question.
That's
maybe
okay.
You can
maybe David, you can elaborate on that. I have another question from Martin. It's actually, how can anyone get involved in WPR? Is it easy to start?
Yes, it's easy.
It's easy to start once you have a PC at home and obviously enough have the right actually equipment to do it. It's just approach us, join us, and there is also now the membership system. Join our races, and even there are people that actually are newcomers to sim racing. They send us private messages on Facebook, and we are happy to answer. Sometimes might take some time because we're actually busy, but we try to help anybody with his questions so that we make it easier and explain to him how he can join us as World Pro Racing, and obviously enough also join the community of sim racing, etc., etc.
I'm going to make it a bit more easier, yes. A bit more elaborate on it. First of all, you don't need any high and expensive equipment to take part. You need obviously a steering wheel and pedals, because you can obviously shift from the pedal shifts. You don't need a shifter, but if you, most of them they come with a shifter, others they don't, but it's up to you, because you can still switch gears with the pedal shift. Make sure obviously that you follow our website, Facebook page, YouTube, Twitter, and make sure that you register on the website. We say it again because from our website, if you miss a notification on Facebook, unless you put that you have to receive notifications from Facebook, you will not receive them. So register on our website as a driver or a team manager, because there are two options. And when we have a new update, I will send a message to all the members, and you will receive it in your inbox of your account. So that's, I think, one of the easiest things that you might miss on Facebook, but on our website you will not miss any information. And then we will publish the events on our website, where you can see the calendar. If you go to worldproracing.com, you can see the calendar on the website, where currently there is only the Grip Championship from the first round till the final round. But by next week or this week, we will announce the first special event, either in Assetto Corsa or R-Factor 2. We're not sure yet. No. We don't know the mod yet, so we will still. I'm still already doing some stuff and testing some mods. We try to find some things a bit in between being a professional driver and being an amateur driver. One of the things that we've been told quite a lot, that there are people who are amateur and they always race with top drivers, because the name of World Pro Racing, that's why it is named World Pro Racing. But we're going to separate the amateurs who want to have fun, but they're not into the level of being professional yet. So we will do an amateur race, special events for them, so they can have fun and they can improve. Also, although one of my mottos is, and people know what I say, that if you want to be the best, you have to race with the best. The thing is that you might cause an accident to the person or driver overtaking you, and you might cause an accident.
That is something that is very simple even for amateurs to understand, that when there's a professional driver, a faster driver actually lapping you, you'll be seeing a blue flag on your screen, so you'll see the driver from the rear mirror, and that means, listen, go on the side and let him pass. So it is not something, a difficult task to do, even for any beginner. Obviously enough, some people need to get used to that, but that is something so simple to do. Actually, you're giving the opportunity to those people to improve, because they're driving. Yes. It's a mix of professionals and amateurs.
And
so
that's why we do the race briefing, like we do in real life. Adrian does the race briefing. And what is race briefing? For those that do not know, we will go over in brief that they have to take care of going out of the pits carefully, going back to the track when he was sent off the track in a not polite, in a not in a dangerous way, like going out without looking who's coming.
Even if you have like lost your car and you went off track, the way how you need to rejoin the track. It's not like going out and going in that straight away. You need to look, obviously enough, if there are oncoming cars, and join the track in a safe way. So these are things that we explain every time in every briefing. Actually, these are things that are practiced in real motorsport. And whether you're staying in sim racing and whether you're going to the real world of motorsport, these things are things that you need actually to learn and understand how to do.
So, coming to the Grip Championship, round 1 is going to be next Wednesday at 8 p.m. our time, GMT +1, and we have 23 drivers taking part. We had more, but several other drivers, they didn't care to reply back if they're not going to join or not. One of the things that we do not like, but we have to keep going, and we have 23 drivers, so we're going to do just one server with extended pits, and we have 5 rounds and 1 special round at the end of the championship. The winner will have a full testing day in the real Grip G1 car in Varano. So this person will be treated like a real driver, and eventually he will become a real driver, unless the winner is already a real driver, and you will be treated with engineers, and it's not just you're going to give you the car and you drive it for fun. They're going to treat you like you're testing for entering into a real championship. And this is not the first collaboration with Grip. We're going to continue and evolve how we're going to use Grip and the real motorsport in both virtually and real life, thanks to Grip for believing in us, especially Tamir Placzynski, the CEO of Grip. And yes, we also would like to collaborate with more other companies like we did last year, with the Porsche, with Praga. We did with quite a lot of collaborations. So yes, the Grip Championship is closed from registration, and keep on following us because we have more championships coming in, both in Assetto Corsa and R Factor 2, as we mentioned last year. So we're going to start using using platform, another platform, which is R Factor 2, thanks to Marcel, obviously, for supporting us in this as well, especially doing the first R Factor 2 challenge that we did in the Trustmaster GT tournament last year. So yeah, and we're going to launch the special events starting from next month in February, and we are working on using 3 platforms for these special events. We're going to have Assetto Corsa, R Factor 2, which we use already, these 2, and we're including iRacing. So we know that iRacing is a very popular platform. There is a huge community, and we want to reach the drivers, the community of iRacing as well. So we'll be using 3 different types of platforms, maybe 4, maybe 5 platforms during the year, because we also worked with Race Room, we know Robert as well, and we might also use another platform which
we touched the base with.
We touched base with already. We discussed with some people working there. And yes, as we said since the beginning, we want to reach the whole community of sim racing.
The community is like spread.
It's spread out. So
we try to reach everybody and try to please everybody, but obviously enough. It needs its own time and obviously timeline to use to come and use all these platforms. But definitely, we're always working on them and communicating even till midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning between us.
So
sending a message here and there, what's happening. So.
Just one thing, because people thought that while we are silent, it means that we're closing off or shutting down. When we are silent and there are no updates on our page, even though it's not good, not updating the page, it means that we are working on something that it's good to be patient and wait for it. You know now what type of events that we do, how professional we are. So patience is a virtue. And
definitely,
who is patient, who will get treated well. And believe me, we have good plans, not only for this year, even 2020. So when I say it, I start, smiling, because knowing what's going to happen, it's quite good. Yeah. We are still in the beginning of the plans, but yes, we have good plans for 2020 as well. Next. We're also going to be organizing, because work is going to keep evolving and more work is going to be piled on us. But once we open our sim racing center, the academy, this is for the locals or people who are coming to Malta and they want to come and race here in our events. We're going to be also organizing events in our sim racing center, which is below us. And yes, we'll be organizing like special events, special races, championships. We have collaborations that we are already planning to start, and yes, we are going to have a very fruitful and fully packed year. And also platforms, you already mentioned them. Our simulation center and academy will be working on R Factor 2, as we said recently as well. We're going to use organize actually different types of races. It's not just doing a race of 30 minutes and we stop there. We're going to create like challenger modes. Not just having one race. Not just having one race with the same car. You might have different cars. We have 2 races with 2 different cars and we combine the points together. We're going to spice it up.
There are a lot of combinations we're working around, so we're getting some spices and herbs from everywhere.
And some zarumel, you know. We're doing this to get the potential out of the drivers in both types of cars. Like from a Formula, you're going to switch into a GT car and we see how you do. And depending on how you do, you might win that challenge.
Or a Skoda.
Or a Skoda, yeah. So we would like to ask you some questions. Are there any platforms that you would like us to start organizing races in, like Race Room, Project Cars, Automobilista?
As I said, we're here, we're talking, send your questions. I hope my Facebook is updating because sometimes it actually gets that. So give us your opinions about what we're talking about. Ask us your own questions. So as Justin is saying, what kind of platforms would you like us to see evolve? As you know that we're already using Assetto, we're going to R Factor 2. So which are the other platforms that you would like us to use?
Exactly. And also, are you looking forward to any endurance races? Yes, we're going to create, we're planning actually in organizing an endurance race, not just an endurance race, which is just a special event. It's not just a special event, it's going to be an endurance race or championship coming later on this year. And yes, so if you're looking into endurance races, keep following us, because yes, we're going to create and organize an endurance championship, not just an endurance championship. So yes, and all this that's coming is coming from the help of our sponsors, which will be announcing later on and throughout the year as well. And this also will be evolving into something coming up next year. So 2020, we're looking forward to 2020 actually. But in the meantime,
2019 is a big build-up.
Yes, it's the build-up of next year. So
excuse me, but
he's dying.
A little bit sick. But
this year is going to be not a testing phase. It's going to be a very solid phase to a bigger plan next year. We also would like to ask you what type of mods you would like us to use. GT3, Formula cars, what type of mods? Maybe there are some mods that we do not know about, or upcoming mods that the huge community of modders, they are building, and we didn't stumble upon these mods and we don't know about them. Maybe you can send them to us, share them with us so we can organize the events. All our events that we do, we take permission by the modder, and we respect all those modders, not just taking that mod and just organize an event. So come to us, tell us which mod you'd like to use, and we try it out, we test it out, and we organize an event. The more you give us, the more races we do. We have a lot of races planned, but we need the community to talk to us, not just talking me and Adrian. And unless I'm going to end up myself next week and without Adrian, but I leave the chair here. So yes, if you have any questions and or opinions that you would like us to do, please put them forward. You can
send us messages.
There is the membership system now, and the messaging system, not membership system, although it's a membership system. You can message me directly on the website, which I receive a notification and you can get it back, reply, or Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, all the social media platforms. We're here because of you, because if you don't race with us, we can close and shut down. Don't do that, please. And yeah, but I mean, we never had any complaints.
No.
From sometimes there were some weirdos, but it was just one in a million. So, but still, we take notice of those complaints. Although we do our best to do the event as professional as possible. The word pro and word pro racing, that's why it's there, to do it professionally. But we're still humans and we can do mistakes, although we do our best to do it 100% clear.
Actually, I have a good question to ask also to those that like sim racing and to the drivers.
Shout.
How far do you think sim racing can go?
Yes. I'm going to
ask it to Justin. I'm asking it to you that are watching us. Just give us your opinions on that.
I'm definitely sure that sim racing is going for a very long term and keeps going, because we are already doing this, that we're combining the sim racing with the real racing combined together with the grip company. So this is already something that will be evolving later on, and other companies will be doing it. I don't want to give that much of answers because they then copy what we do, but yeah, I have many ideas about these things, like having a real race and they have to switch to a simulator and then continue in the real race, for example. There are many ways and combinations that you can do, and yes, I think sim racing, in collaborating with real world of motorsport, can go to something more exciting and more interesting to watch.
Definitely, it's going to be something that like what it will look like in 3 or 5 years. I think it's going to be definitely something to keep your eyes on. It's going to evolve a lot. We don't forget that nowadays simulation is being used by professional drivers themselves to train themselves.
Yes, I would like to say, Sandro Mikalev, thank you for thanking us for the nice initiative. Sorry, I forgot that message. You told him already? Sorry. Well, you have a double thank you.
So definitely sim racing and simulators, it's something that's been there for quite a while. Obviously in the past couple of years it came more into the open, and obviously it's growing, and definitely is going to a very great success in the coming years. As we said, don't forget, simulation has been used a lot and still is being used a lot by professional drivers. I've seen it actually last week myself in Italy in a professional simulation center that I visited. It's something really used.
State of the art.
It's a state of the art.
It's
actually
a state of the art.
Followed, definitely followed by professional drivers themselves and tutors. Watching these drivers doing their thing on simulators.
If you're not practicing on a simulator now, you're going to be left behind. That's the sentence that I'm saying quite repetitively now, because most of the drivers they already have a simulator at home and they practice that track before they go into the real scenario. I'm sure of that, and we can prove that because we've seen and we discussed with people, and we met people looking at sim racing companies that sells rigs and stuff like that, and asking us for opinions on what to buy.
And actually, we're talking to a couple of drivers. One of them is a professional driver driving the blank pen also recently.
Yeah,
just a couple of weeks ago. He's been sim racing for 20
years.
So and nowadays he's a blank pen driver.
So, yes.
So and he's still doing sim racing. So
of course, we're not saying that sim racing will take over motorsport. No, I don't want that, and I will work for that not to happen, because I want that sim racing and motorsport, real motorsport, work together. Both sim racing and motorsport needs to be fit. You need to be highly focused in the same way. Obviously, in simulation, if you hit another car, if you crash, you're not going to die or get hurt. But the professional drivers, and I do that myself, if I spin the car or something happened and I lose control of the car, I do whatever it takes not to crash, try to control the car, even though I can let the car go and I crash and I start all over again, but I don't do that. And the same goes for the professional drivers. They do their best not to crash in sim racing and in real life.
Because definitely they see how the car reacts on a simulator, how they should control the car in such situations, so that if the that scenario comes to in his real life of racing, he's already ready how to control the car in that particular situation.
Exactly.
So that is something that, yes, as Justin said, you don't crash, do damages, hurt yourself in simulation, but it helps you to even control your car when something wrong something goes wrong on track.
It can help you also by giving that extra more in sim racing. When you do turn a corner or doing something, you can give it a bit more to get a bit more. You'll be more fast. For example, I used to do that when I do training of other things. You push a bit more so you get something more out of you, and then you go into the real life and it works.
There actually you understand to which limits you can take your car. So in real life you're like going very fast, and sometimes it's like you stay a step backward when you're a bit conscious to push further your limit. Obviously to get a better performance. You can test that in simulation, obviously see how the car reacts when you're pushing over your current limit, and if the car reacts in the right manner, definitely then in the real life you'll be more confident to push that little more. That obviously will make you better on track and gives you better results.
And in sim racing, since there might be races with a server full of more cars than in real life, without even knowing, you get more better in reaction time. When you're racing in virtually, you have many scenarios, like people crossing over the track from the gravel onto the other side of the gravel of the track, and they help you get more, like direction time will be more faster and you control more the car. So when it comes to real life, these things can happen, but not the same as they do in sim racing, like the first corner, boom, pile up, you know. You get so much knowledge, more than you get knowledge during the race, because you have a testing day, you have the practice, qualifying, and the race. In simulation, you can do a number of million times. You're not going to spend any money by getting more tires, fuel. You're not spending any fuel, so you have time to practice enough.
The opportunity to practice and make yourself better.
Exactly.
You know,
but then, from the other hand, it is that the platform companies, all of them, all the simulation platforms, they need to work closely with the driver and with the drivers and the community, and I know most of them they do, to make the tracks as real as possible, the physics of the car as real as possible, so the drivers can practice well according to the same physics and movement of the real car.
We have a couple of questions.
Yes,
maybe
questions.
Take these. What do you think about AI in racing?
Well, AI have their good and bad, because AI can just sometimes try to overtake and keep pushing, but sometimes in the contrary, they just keep waiting behind you. They don't try to overtake you unless you're very slow. But still, if this question was asked if it's good to race with AI, in my opinion, I do not prefer to race with AI. I prefer to race with those crazy people on the internet. Not all of them, but many are. And they think that they're going to win the race by coming first in the first corner. Yes, but I would prefer...
Or by cutting corners.
I would prefer competing online and get knowledge more there, more than in against the AI. But I would suggest that you do training offline, alone, getting to know the track, getting to know the limits of the track, getting to know your limits, the car's limit, and by the way, when you start practicing on a track the first time, you don't need to give the shit out of the car in the first lap. Do the first lap, just to understand the corners, do the second lap a bit faster, and keep on progressing to get the times they're always
Better.
going down. So, and this is not coming from me because I'm a professional person in motorsport, but I read a lot, I have experience in by listening to other people. So the knowledge I'm giving you is the knowledge I got from other professional drivers. So when you practice, you don't need to go full out from the first lap. Take it slow, take it easy, start practicing, do laps, but then don't come to a point where you do like 50 laps and you're doing the same time or you're doing worse. Stop, because that's enough. Have a break and do another practice session next day, because sometimes even the drivers of our team, they and other normal drivers, when you start practicing like 3 hours practice and you don't even know what you're doing wrong, then you're spending the time for nothing.
It's actually better doing shorter sessions and more frequent than doing a very long session. First of all, you get tired. Secondly, unless you're practicing for some endurance race. Sorry about that.
From my experience in teaching, and something different, but I used to do teaching lessons in IT, and the lessons were like 2 hours, and I didn't even do a lesson of 2 hours. Why? Because listening to a person for 2 hours and trying to grab and absorb whatever is being said, probably you get like 10% of it.
That's right.
And I did this, I experienced it myself, and it worked quite a lot. And so when you do the practice sessions, do like a 30-minute practice session, have a break, and do another 30-minute practice session.
Somebody told me I need a water sponsor, because obviously I'm coughing. And
and probably I'm going to get sick myself tomorrow now, so yeah.
So we have something else. How do you stop the cheat programs being used by drivers in sim racing?
So, yes, it's a good question. Something which is very hard to combat against, but there are certain software that we will be using, and the drivers have to download it as well. They have to install it, and there will be a scanner that will check if there are the same things in the client's computer compared with the server. Another thing is that if the driver do not have the same files and information that we have in our server, they are not the same, then you will be kicked out and you have a mismatch.
Yeah, that's it. So,
and we're quite serious about this. I'm experienced in esports in general for quite a long time, and I've saw a lot of cheats and cheaters, actually, not a lot of cheats. I never cheated myself, but it's something that, I mean, if you want to cheat to win, you're a loser.
Yeah, that's right.
You're a loser, because you're saying to yourself that I'm not capable enough to win, so I'm gonna cheat. So you're a
but
loser.
Obviously enough, as you said, if the files don't match in both servers, in our server and obviously at the client's side, you receive a mismatch, and obviously you cannot log into the server or actually kicked out of the server.
Exactly.
So that is something you get like
disqualified. Of course.
Actually, it's a kick out, because that's what the server says, but it's a disqualification. And somebody asked us what is our favorite circuit in the world and why.
Our favorite circuit? Well, one of them is Spa, for sure.
Spas.
And
definitely exciting circuit. So
another one which I quite a lot, and it's quite not that wide.
Zandvoort.
I like it for close racing and quite a lot of action.
And
Bathurst is a killer. In fact, we're going to have some events in that track. Yes. All the tracks have their own.
Don't say Macau.
Macau. No, Macau is out of our list.
No, actually, it's definitely something exciting to see, because it's something I came up with Macau. I was discussing actually accidents that happened there, and I was discussing it with a safety officer that was actually on the track of Macau and for several times, and they did the wrong thing. The circuit is great,
yeah,
right, but the only thing that the circuit doesn't have is like escape routes. in last case we saw the accident that happened lately. But otherwise, as a circuit, it's definitely a great circuit, something that they are working on and trying to improve. But obviously enough, it's made of, it's a street circuit, so you're limited also on what you can have on that circuit. But definitely, maybe we'll find Macau.
Yeah, there is Macau. I have.
Yeah, it's might be something that we could consider. And
I raced once there, and with the old BTCC cars, and it was quite enjoyable. But still, yes, quite dangerous, especially the first corner where you have to suddenly push the brakes hard, because the first corner is not, you know what happened in that first corner. And somebody mentioned Donington. Yes, we like Donington as well. There's Brands Hatch, which we like as well. In fact, Brands Hatch, we use it for if we're going to mention all the tracks.
Actually, these are the tracks, all tracks that we used already. So definitely we like them. They are tracks that we like.
We cannot stop.
It's like we cannot say, listen, that is our preferred. Obviously, there is a preferred track. Like Justin mentioned, one of my top preferred tracks is Spa. So
Spa is classic, yeah.
Or Rouge,
yeah.
Or Le Mans.
Let's stop mentioning tracks because we're going. Yeah, Le Mans. We like Le Mans. Yeah. Well, but then it comes to track for endurance.
So actually, we've been talking for an hour.
For an hour, yes. Yeah. Well, usually that's the span of time that we.
It's good that we had some interaction from your side also. And we want more. So join us for our upcoming episodes. I'm trying to see if we have any other questions, because I'm receiving also private messages.
Yeah.
Actually not.
Yeah, I check if there are any questions on YouTube. Yes. Hi guys, just tuned in. Spa is boss Baku's too, but the green hell is the king. Yeah. Speed Force Sim Racer. Speed Force Sim Racer participated in the... Which he participated in one of our races. I forgot, but
which one?
Yeah, I think there was what's his name, Mark Puck, who competed as well. I think it was not in the Ginetta, but I think it was the Formula 4. It was the Tatus, I think. Tatus. Am I right? I'm not sure, but yes, I remember his name there. Well, many people have their own preference for their tracks for the Spa. I was gonna say, but yes,
I have my preference for the Spa.
It's a good thing to communicate about, to discuss about what types of track, why, which corner do you like. Well, when it comes to corners, Butters will take over.
Yeah, will take over.
Yeah, but definitely talking about Butters, we're going to do another V8, maybe Championship, maybe Challenge, and we're going to use Butters again. So I love watching drivers like banging, and well, I don't like having crashes during the race, but yes, that close races and like touching slightly the wall and keep going. Yes, that's how I like it.
That's right. Yeah, it's definitely a great track.
Yes, we're going to have a combination of different types of tracks: short tracks, long races,
short races, medium rare, and everything. So it's gonna be a good mixture. Races, different type of cars, so that we
challenges and prizes. Hopefully,
hopefully. So
we can call it a day. I think today. Yeah.
Yes, sure.
As we always say, thank you to all our supporters, our sponsors,
our followers,
who are watching.
And you who are driving with us.
Yes, and you who are a team manager, and
you who will also join us in our future races.
Yes. We want more drivers to participate in our races. Something that we're working on. That's why we want to reach other platforms to have more drivers participating, especially having local drivers taking part also in our events. Being where pro racing is being operating in Malta, we obviously want that Maltese drivers, the local community also joins the international community and have fun with us and all the other drivers. So thank you everyone.
Obviously enough, we tell them as always, follow us on our social media channels: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
And they register as well on our
Instagram
website.
We have.
Yes.
You can register on our website so that you're updated with our news. And please do share our links with your friends, so that we have more drivers, more community with us. And obviously that will make us make more races.
Exactly.
And definitely.
Without drivers, we cannot do any races.
That's
so
right.
please join us, invite your friends, register on our website so you get notifications instantly. And yes, that's all about today.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed it. I'm Adrian. I was going to say I'm Adrian, and I did say that I'm Adrian.
You said it actually.
I'm Justin and Adrian,
yeah.
and have a good night and see you next week. And obviously next Wednesday with the Grip Championship Round 1, which is going to be a very exciting race because you know how the Grip is, you know, if you watch if you follow the Grip Championship, the real Grip Championship, you see how the Grip race is going to be. See you next week for the next episode, and see you on Wednesday for the first round of the Grip Championship.
Thanks for following.